Hey everyone, it's MEWJoji, and today we're going to be taking a look at upgrading an Iron Leaves EX battle deck. Now I'm looking at this and I'm super disappointed on how they decided to build this deck. Iron Leaves is a future Pokemon. It is a sub variant of Pokemon cards, both the future and ancient Pokemon, that coincide obviously with Scarlet and Violet's Paradox Pokemon aspect, where these Pokemon are future Paradox Pokemon. And for whatever reason, instead of building this out as a future box or something related to future, they turned this into just a basic grass deck. I don't know why they were doing this, honestly. It makes no sense that you would throw Iron Leaves EX, a future Pokemon, with... You'll see some of these cards in a second, and you'll also be scratching your head as to why they decided to build this EX battle deck, even though it's for beginners, as not a future deck. They honestly had a really good chance to do that, and I think they missed their mark. So let's go ahead and show off what's in this, and let's upgrade this to turn it into a future deck. As it is, this is just a regular Iron Leaves EX, so keep that in mind when you're getting it. I made the mistake and bought it thinking it was going to be a promo, but that's on me, honestly. I am a promo card collector, and you know, I usually expect the EX battle decks to have some sort of alternate art, to be honest. But this time around, it is just the regular Iron Leaves EX that you get from Temporal Forces. Alright, let's get this opened up. Iron Leaves EX right there. You know what, before we do anything else, do we get lucky and get a cool coin this time around? No, just a regular EX coin. No special Pokemon on there. It does kind of match the theme though, it is a green coin. But, regardless. Let's put this over there. Here's a closer look at the Iron Leaves. If you don't know what this does, here you go. Rapid Veneer. When you play this card from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may switch this with your active Pokemon. If you do, you may move any amount of energy from your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. So it essentially lets you play this and essentially turn it into your active Pokemon. And if you have 3 energies on the field somewhere, it does become your attacker. So it's a really good effect, especially useful if you're facing down something like a Charizard EX in the late game. Comes with a code card, the deck with the rest of the cards, some quick rules as usual, some damage counters, some quick guides on how to play this Iron Leaves deck. Where did it come from? It is definitely talking about its ability. We're not going to read into this too much. I'll read it off on the side later to see if it actually explains why they went with this. But we got the quick start rules there. And on this, we will get a nice little backing here. It does have the electric style on the top because the paired deck that goes with this is the Tapu Koko EX battle deck, which honestly is probably a skip. And I probably won't be doing a video on it, unfortunately. I do not think it's worth getting. I probably will have some sort of short going over both this deck and that EX battle deck that I did get, again thinking it had a promo, and rating them essentially whether you should get them or not. And it's a hard no for the Tapu Koko. This one, not as much of a no because you do get the Iron Leaves, but we'll see if it's worth getting if you're a beginner. If you're more of an advanced or intermediate player, this is probably a pass as well. But let's go ahead, get these cards out of here, organized, and we'll show you what the counts are for this deck. Okay, so just looking at this deck as it is actually a pretty good one. So obviously starting again off with the Iron Leaves EX that we get from the box. We also have a pretty good line starting off here. We have 4 Oddish, followed by 3 Gloom, and then 2 Vileplume. This is the Vileplume with full bloom energy. Now, this is a really, really good effect, honestly, in this grass deck EX starter deck here, because as you can read there, when you play this card to evolve from your hand, you get to look at the top 8 cards of your deck and attach any number of energy you find there to your Pokemon any way you like. That is a really good effect, assuming that you have like good benched Pokemon. You have like maybe already 5 benched, including that this Vileplume you just played, right? And then you're active, you can attach to any of those Pokemon that way. So it's a really, really good line in my opinion. You know, I was kind of concerned when I saw that it was a sort of kind of not future based, but just grass based deck. But as it's built like this, I kind of can't complain. That's a really good effect. But I do wish that we had some better attacking Pokemon. This did have like 90 damage for its attack for 3 energy, which isn't great. But they kind of follow it up with the 3 Tangela and then 2 Tangrowth here with Thicket Body, which takes 30 less damage from attacks, this Pokemon specifically. There are other cards that lessen the damage of all Pokemon on the field, but this one specifically only affects Tangrowth. And then its attack loom over 150 minus and then 10 damage minus for each damage counter on it. So 150 is not great, but it is still pretty effective regardless. The other main attack you're probably going to have is going to be your 2-2 line of 2 Phantom and 2 Trevenant. Now, Trevenant here has Giga Drain, which heals for the amount of damage it does. With the deck as is, it's only going to be doing 50. And then Force Dump here, weird attack name, does 130 for 3 energy. Still not as good, but it's still better at least than the Vileplume. The Vileplume's attack. And it's almost as good as the Tangrowth. It's definitely better if the Tangrowth has more than, obviously, 3 damage counters on it. Then we have single lines here. We have a single Tropius and a single Maractus here. This is probably going to be here for your draw support early on. And then Tropius is going to be here for your other attacker with Tropic. I was going to say Topic Breeze, but it's Tropic Breeze 130. And then you move all energy attached to this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon. So it's a good way to, if it's going to get knocked out next turn, or you're worried about getting knocked out, you can move all that energy onto maybe a Tangrowth or Trevenant or Vileplume, or if you have it already in the field, an Iron Leaves EX. So that is all the Pokemon. Honestly, Vileplume, really good line in this deck because it's a grass-based one. I don't know about the Tangrowth. Trevenant's not bad, and so is Tropius, but I honestly would probably start thinking about cutting that Maractus. But let's move on to the supporters of this deck. So we have 4 Youngster here. We have 4 Youngster, which is a good draw support for starter beginners, especially with 3 Nemona here for another good, you know, starter friendly card. It only draws 3, nothing more complicated than that. But then we have 2 Rika, which does get a bit more complicated with looking at the top 4, putting 2 into your hand, and then shuffling the other 2 back. And then a little even more complicated with Professor Turo's Scenario. 2 of these. Now, putting 1 Pokemon back from your hand, or putting 1 Pokemon from play back into your hand is not going to be a simple thing to choose as a beginner, but if you're going to be keeping this, and I do think you should keep this in this deck if you're playing it as is, you're probably going to be using it on your Vileplumes. Once you evolve into the Vileplume, you're going to be using Turo Scenario to start setting up another Oddish Gloom and then Vileplume. Preferably, you would want to already have at least 2 Glooms in play the Vileplume, and then use its effect, and then play the Turos, so then you can use that Vileplume you just put back into your hand to evolve the other Gloom, if it's available to evolve. Moving on to the last supporter, we have 1 Jacq here to grab your evolution Pokemon. And we do have a lot of them. And then moving on to our item cards, we have 4 Great Ball, followed by 3 Pokeball, which is a choice, honestly. I would have preferred Nest Balls, to be honest. That way you can grab the Iron Leaves, the Oddish, the Maractus, Tropius, Phantoms, and Tangela. You can grab pretty much everything else with Nest Balls instead, but they included Pokeballs for some reason. Maybe they're trying to rotation proof this. If I'm looking at this correctly, I believe every card we've seen so far is safe from rotation. Let me check Nomona real quick here. Yeah, it is Regulation G as well. So these are all Regulation G cards. So these are the least likely to rotate next year. So that's probably why they chose Pokeballs instead of Nest Balls. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll put it on the screen what regulation mark Nest Ball has. Finally, we have 2 switches to round out the item cards. I definitely want these, especially if you're planning on changing this into a future box. I'll explain a little bit later. But finishing off with 18 basic grass energy. That is a lot of energy, probably more than you need, but because of the way this deck is playing, with the Vileplumes moving so much energy onto your Pokemon with its effect, this honestly might not be a big deal, and having 18 energies might be beneficial. But as it stands, this is the deck. Honestly, I do kind of like it as a beginner deck. If you were trying to give this to someone that is learning how to play, this is a good starter deck. This is almost up there with things like the first Miraidon EX battle deck, not the latest one, but the previous one I believe had one that was a good one, and then the Chien-Pao EX battle deck. Those are really good EX battle decks when it comes to being at least a bit more, closer to the meta and competitive within the EX battle deck space. So I definitely like this to give to beginners. Now, did I like that they made Iron Leaves the head of this deck? Not really. There are probably some better choices they could have made, but Iron Leaves being a future Pokemon probably was the best choice. But I do wish that they had turned this into a future box. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is actually going to be making 2 different builds for this. We're going to be making one featuring it as just still a grass type deck, using the Vileplumes and maybe moving some of these counts around, trying to keep it more of, again, keep it as a grass deck. Maybe you want to keep using grass type Pokemon in this deck instead. But we're also going to be doing a future box inspired upgrade. So we're going to have 2 upgrades. This video may be a little bit longer, but we're going to put chapters in it in case you want to see the future version or if you want to see the grass Pokemon version. So jump to those if you want to watch it, whichever one you want, or just continue on and we'll do the grass upgrade first. Unfortunately, I didn't have every single one of the cards that I needed to build out this deck available to me, so what we're going to be doing instead is showing it off using Limitless's deck builder here. But the line is a bit different. As you can see, we've gotten rid of most of the grass type Pokemon from this, but we did keep the Vileplume and the Iron Leaves. We switched it over to a 4-2-3 line for the Vileplume. I really like the full blooming energy ability on this Vileplume, and it does synergize well with things like this Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, where Myriad Leaf Shower does 30 plus 30 more for each energy attached to it. So if you essentially get some extra energy cards with this ability from Vileplume, you can power this Teal Mask Ogerpon way up and do a lot of damage there. Unfortunately, Teal Mask Ogerpon does become your main attacker, and Iron Leaves EX does take a back seat. And I will admit, Iron Leaves EX is really a backseat attacker anyways. It's not meant to be your main attacker, and I'm really surprised again why they made Iron Leaves EX the head of this EX battle deck. Honestly, they should have gone with something more like Iron Hands EX, is a way better attacker, albeit it's tougher to set up. Maybe they could have even gone with an Iron Crown EX. Again, an EX battle deck as a future Pokemon deck would have been a great idea. I'm surprised they just turned it into a grass type. But regardless, we're going to be bumping this up into 2 Iron Leaves EX instead of the single one we had. And then adding in a Squawkabilly EX for some draw support and a single Mew EX for draw support as well. And that's going to be our list of Pokemon. So 4 Oddish, 2 Gloom, 3 Vileplume, 4 Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, 2 Iron Leaves EX, 1 Squawkabilly EX, and a Mew EX. That's going to be our list for Pokemon. And going into the trainer cards, we're going to have 3 Professor's Research, 2 Iono. I do like Youngster, and you could keep Youngster if you don't have the Iono, but Iono does add a bit of disruption to your opponent's hands if possible. Turo's Scenario is a good card to keep, especially if you want to reuse your Vileplumes. I added another one in there. We have Boss's Orders to gust up and knock things out. Then we have 3 Nest Balls because we are running quite a bit of basic Pokemon now. We have the Teal Mask, obviously the Iron Leaves you don't want to grab with Nest Ball because its ability activates only if it's played from the hand. So keep that in mind. You want to use this Nest Ball mostly for the Ogerpons, the Squawkabilly, Mew, and the Oddish. Moving on, we have 3 Buddy-Buddy Poffins. These are going to be here for your Oddish specifically. It's the only Pokemon it can get with those. So we're only running 3 since there's only 4 cards we're looking for. Then we have 3 Rare Candies in case we want to switch from an Oddish straight into a Vileplume. Its ability will still activate, so that's a good way to at least do it that way instead of having to go from a second turn to evolve from Gloom to Vileplume instead and get that effect immediately. We have 2 switch cards. I do like the switches. I will say I kept most of this deck as the G regulation mark just to keep in line with the way it was built and given to you. I believe the G regulation mark is Scarlet and Violet and up, like Scarlet Violet base set and up. So that's probably what they're planning on doing for next rotation, anything Scarlet and Violet forward. So that's why everything here has G regulation if you look at every single one of these cards, except for Iron Leaves, it's actually higher. But for the most part, the lowest one is going to be G. There are better switch cards, I will admit, especially if you're running this deck with a lot of basic Pokemon, you would want to use switch cards. So if you're planning on playing this more recent and not worried about the rotation that will be coming up in 2025, go ahead and switch these to switch cards. We have 2 Earthen Vessel to grab our energy. That way we can power up with Teal Dance sooner. 2 Ultra Ball to grab our Iron Leaves EX because it's the only way to grab that and use its ability. Plus we could also grab Vileplumes with it. We have 1 Super Rod in case some stuff gets knocked out. Maybe the Oddish or Gloom we have to discard. We can grab those back with the Super Rod, put them back in the deck. Then for our A-Spec, we are running Prime Catcher. It is one of the most expensive cards in this deck. As you can kind of see, the price it is at $84, and this does go for about $25 right now. But I will say that this is probably going to drop pretty soon. I believe this is going up on the 8th of November, and on the 15th, the following week, there's a Charizard EX League Battle deck coming out. I will be doing a video on it too when it comes out, but it comes with a Prime Catcher. So for $30, pretty much the price of this Prime Catcher, you can get a Prime Catcher and a Charizard EX battle deck. So I expect Prime Catcher prices to drop considerably. If anything, go get that, and then you can use that Prime Catcher to build out pretty much any deck that uses it. And I would say probably 80% of meta decks right now use Prime Catcher. But yeah, going on, our only Poketool we have is Bravery Charm. This is going to go obviously onto your Teal Mask Ogerpon and your Iron Leaves. Or if you need a bit of survivability, you could drop it on Squawkabilly or Mew. And then for our energy, we have 14 basic grass energies because we want to be doing maximum damage with the Teal Mask Ogerpon and not have to worry about missing anything with the fully blooming energy ability here. Again, I will reiterate, Iron Leaves EX is not a front line attacker. It is meant to be more of a last resort, or even like a surprise attack. When your opponent expects you not to be able to take a knockout, you drop this, it gets powered up immediately, goes into the active, and then you can hit something for 180 damage, or if it has weakness, double that. But again, I don't know why they put it as the main card in this EX battle deck and they turned it into a grass energy deck, but we had to find a way to at least stick to a grass type energy deck, so I thought, why not pair Iron Leaves EX with the Teal Mask Ogerpon? Because we're going to power up these Ogerpons super quickly, we could even like turn maybe 3 or 4, get an Iron Leaves EX fully powered up by putting it into the bench and then move it into the active with its ability. But yeah, I do like this deck as is. It does again run more like a Teal Mask Ogerpon deck, but it does have Iron Leaves in the back in case you need that extra surprise to your opponent's Pokemon. But this is again only one of the 2 ways we're going to be upgrading this Iron Leaves EX deck. This one's more of the grass type deck, that it's still keeping a few of the cards that came with it and still using the Vileplume there. But there is another version, and I've mentioned it a few times now. It is a future Pokemon for Iron Leaves, and I'm very surprised that they didn't turn this into a future Pokemon deck. There are a lot of basic non-EX future Pokemon out right now, and they could have definitely turned this into a future EX battle deck. So we're going to show off a future deck as well, instead of just showing this grass one. So if you want to check that one out, let's go ahead and move on. But if you just want to check out the gameplay on this grass one, there will be chapters down in the video, so go ahead and skip to there if you just want to watch the grass version of it. But if you want to watch the future version, continue on and we'll show it off right now. Now this is the future upgrade for Iron Leaves EX. Again, it takes a back seat. It is not going to be the main attacker for this deck. And if you've seen this deck before, you will know this by a different name. It is called Future Iron Hands, because Iron Hands EX is definitely the main attacker to this deck. You can kind of see, just based off the energy, we are running 12 energies, sorry, electric lightning type energies, and only 3 grass energies. The 3 grass energies are here for the Iron Leaves, but obviously this can power up the Iron Hands EX and the Miraidon that we're going to be using in this deck. So these are going to be your main attackers, and paired with things like Iron Crown EX are going to be doing heavy damage. Let's go back to the Iron Hands. This is obviously here for the MP Very Much attack. If you don't know what that does, it's 120 damage for 4 energy, and if it knocks out an opponent's Pokemon with this attack, you take an extra prize card. So those 1 prizers turn into 2 prizers. And with the power of Iron Crown EX's ability Cobalt Command, you do 20 damage for each Iron Crown EX on the bench. So this turns into 120 if you have 1, sorry, 140 if you have 1, and then if you have up to 4 on the field, that's an extra 80 damage for 200. That is a lot of damage and can knock out a lot of Pokemon, even some EX Pokemon as well. But we're going to be using the Miraidon that we showed off here earlier to power up our Pokemon using Peak Acceleration. It does 40, but if we have those Iron Crowns on the field, it does even more. And then you get to search your deck for 2 basic energy and attach them to your future Pokemon any way you like. So this is a great way to power up your Iron Hands EX, or if you need to, your Iron Leaves. And then we also have an Iron Bundle for its Hyper Blower. That way we can have some gusting. Usually early game is what you want to use this, when they have only like 2 cards on the bench, or sorry, 2 cards in play, 1 on the active, 1 on the bench, and then you can hopefully knock out that one that you switch in with your Iron Hands EX or your Miraidon. Like I mentioned, we have the Iron Leaves EX here. This is a backseat attacker. You don't want to use this early in the game. This is going to be here for your Charizard EX matchups, or for a surprise attack if your Iron Hands isn't going to be hitting enough damage Again, it does 180, but keep in mind your Iron Crowns will buff that up quite a bit. So instead of just 180, if we have all 4 on there, that's 260 damage. And if you want to bump that even more up, we could attach a Future Boost Energy Capsule to make it 280 damage, enough for a Giratina, Palkia, and an Arceus V-Star. A lot of damage capability there. Then our final Pokemon is going to be a Mew EX for some draw support. And then moving on to our trainer cards, for supporters we have 4 Professor's Research, 4 Arvin because we need to search up that Future Booster Energy Capsule, and the Heavy Baton. This is going to be going onto your Iron Hands EX because it needs to be on a Pokemon with exactly 4 retreat cost. And then you can move up to 3 energies from it onto something else. Mostly it's going to be going from an Iron Hands EX to another Iron Hands EX, but you could, in theory, move it over to maybe your Iron Crowns or Miraidon, and then play your Iron Leaves, and then move those energies over to it instead. We have 2 Boss's Orders, 2 Iono, 4 Electric Generators to power up our Iron Hands EX, 4 Techno Radar to get our future Pokemon out into play, 2 Switch Cards, 2 Pokegears 3.0, 1 Nest Ball. I will say, although there are a lot of basic Pokemon, we grab most of them with the Techno Radar, and this Nest Ball is only here for the Mew. You could drop this if you have confidence you'll get this Mew in a different way, and put something else in play. If I'm being honest, if you wanted to put something else into this deck and drop this, I would suggest putting in at least 1 of the Psychic Energies so you can attack with Miraidon's secondary attack, Sparking Strike, or with Twin Shuttle from the Iron Crowns EX. We have 1 Super Rod, again Prime Catcher, keep in mind one of the best A-specs currently out in the meta, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Energy Search in case we need to find that grass energy. Like we mentioned earlier, 3 Future Booster Energy Capsules, gives us free retreat and extra damage to our future Pokemon, Heavy Baton for the Iron Hands EX, and then for our energy we have 12 electric type energies and then 3 grass energy. This is a future deck, and honestly, if they had made the EX battle deck future based, I would have expected something like Iron Bundle to be in it, maybe Miraidon, and that would have been perfect, honestly, because that would be a good basis to build upon and make this deck instead of the grass one that we showed off earlier. But for whatever reason, they made it into a grass deck. Regardless, we're going to try this one out as well in today's video, but we're going to be going into actually the gameplay for the grass version of the Iron Hands EX upgrade first, and then we're going to be showing off the future one afterwards. So if you're actually looking for just the future Iron Leaves EX upgrade version of the gameplay, jump to it using the chapters down below. But if not, if you want to watch the grass variation instead right now, we're going to show it off right now. Before we go on, why not get subscribed? It lets me know that you like this sort of video. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much, but double check because YouTube does unsubscribe people. We're going to be going first because I realized as I was building this deck and practicing with it that we didn't put any energy switches, which would have allowed us to attack going second. If we got 2 Teal Mask Ogerpons out into play, but since we didn't, we want to be going first. So keep that in mind if you are building this deck as the grass type version. Put in some energy switch into there so you could potentially attack with a turn 2 attack. Let's see what we're playing against. I'm hoping, because I do want to play against a Charizard EX. I've played against 2 of them while practicing. And we did end up hitting them with the Iron Leaves EX towards the end of each of those matches. We'll see in a second what we're playing up against. Hopefully it gives us some knowledge Sometimes it doesn't give you any knowledge at all. They are definitely taking their time. So maybe they're not aware of what... Ooh. Applin. Okay, so this could be two of different things. It could be the... Also, I'm going to Earthen Vessel away this energy to grab 2, actually. It can be one of two things. It could be just the Festival Leaf Diplin, or it could be Hydrapple. Either way, I am very curious as to which one it could be. Pass. Next turn, we're going to have to Iono to get some better cards. We could also just... Ooh, tempting. We do have a lot of cards still, so I don't know if I want a fully blooming energy right now. Okay, Bug Catcher set just for an energy. Just an attach. Hopefully just not an attack. Okay, there's another one. Diplin. Okay, not good. I need another basic or we win. Arvin. Okay, this could get him a Buddy-Buddy Poffin or a Nest Ball. Let's see what it does. There's a Buddy-Buddy and an Evo. Okay. So this might be Hydrapple. I haven't seen it too... Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say I haven't seen it too often that the Festival Leaf runs TM Evo, but here it is. You don't expect it sometimes, but then we go ahead and get it. Huh. What do we do though? I believe if we get rid of this Thwacky, they have less of a draw support, but do we want to get rid of the Diplin instead? Let's go ahead and evolve the Oddish into a Vileplume. See if we get any energies this way. Wow. No energies at all. Incredible. Okay. Well, that was unfortunate. But it does happen. Another Oddish. Okay. I kind of want to deny him the Thwacky. So I'm tempted to just boss this up and knock it out. I really don't need to attach any more as well. I think the highest HP is going to be this Thwacky at 100. If they have the Rillaboom as a potential attacker, I think that one's at 180. But it's very rare that it is available as well. Okay, Diplin. Their Do the Wave is based on their bench size, so we'll see how much more they put up. Grabbing the Grookey back. So that's only going to be doing 40 right now. And since they don't have... I forget what the stadium is called. But since they don't have it on the field, they're only attacking once. Yeah, for the 90. Okay. And it's only doing 90 because of the maximum belt right now. Not too concerning at the moment. Let's go ahead. Teal Dance onto Ogerpon here. Let's get Mew. Attach the Bravery Charm. You know what? Just because it's probably going to get knocked out soon, I'm not going to do that. Restart. Well, I mean, we got the other Bravery Charm. Why not? Do we go with the Squawkabilly EX? No, what am I saying? Sorry, I meant Oddish. Do I get the third Oddish or do I get a third Teal Mask Ogerpon? I'm going to hold off on it and just expend the Nest Ball. And then we're going to Iono. And that puts the Thwacky they just grabbed back into the deck too. All right, we got the Gloom here. I could draw some more with this. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. They're being very emotive right now. I think they realized that there's a low chance, especially since they've been set up pretty badly, but it's okay. We ignore them. We're gonna take our knockout here. Okay, so now we can attack with the other Teal Mask Ogerpon. Just fine. Let's see if we gave him a better hand. There's an energy. There's the festival ground, so they're going to be able to attack twice. A Defiance Man. Applin. Anything else? Thwacky, so that could get him a Buddy-Buddy Poffin and power up even more. Let's see. Buddy-Buddy Poffin, a skateboard. Okay. Skateboard usually goes onto a Thwacky. Alright, let's see. How many of their Pokemon have we taken out? They probably only have one more Applin. They have the Swirlix in here too. Okay. Interesting. Interesting choice. I guess it's a free retreat that way. And also, I believe it essentially you don't take a knockout instead. Actually, hold on, no. If the first attack knocks out your opponent, okay, never mind. Why is this in here? Interesting. Maybe he does run the psychic energy for it. Okay, so he's going to be doing enough to knock it out now. But we will be able to knock it back out. If I remember correctly from when I've built the Festival Leaf deck, it usually only runs the maximum belt, 1 or 2 Defiance belts, and then sometimes if it's only one of the Defiance belts, you run the choice span. So we'll see here in a second. What it ends up being. Let's go ahead and attach this here. Super Rod. We could grab some energy back. I think that's the best idea. Let's put these 3 back. I could expend the Nest Ball. That might be a good idea. I could also Turo the Vileplume and put it onto this Gloom to power it up. Let's see here. I think I'll do that because I'm about to have an open space. Oh, you know what? No, yeah, let's do this first. Put the Oddish back in. Put up the Vileplume. And now, let's see how many energies we get. 3, okay. Let's power up this Teal Mask Ogerpon. And then, let's draw for 2. Iron Leaves, okay. That's good for later. Let's get the knockout here. Grab our prize card. This survives slightly longer than the Ogerpon. Ooh, boss's orders. Okay. What are they moving up? The Vileplume. Okay. We do have some switch cards. The downside is we might have to research and get rid of this Iron Leaves to look for it. Boom Boom Groove. So does it do they have psychic energy? There's a Thwacky. Oh, there's the other one. It wasn't Choice Band. Vitality Band. My mistake. Probably not the best idea to knock this out with it, though. So it will still take 2 attacks, and you only get 1 prize card from it. Ooh, just a pass. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, and we got the switch in hand. Unfortunate for them. Very unfortunate. Let's go ahead and Professor's Research, just to have some other cards ready. Okay, I like this. We're going to evolve one of these into Gloom. And let's take the knockout now. Not bad. Alright, we need 2 more prize cards. They don't have an Applin, or sorry, a Diplin ready to attack. But this one could get ready. They're missing 2 Diplin and the Swirlix counter catcher. The Vileplume again? The Vileplume again. Unfortunate for them that we have 2 options to get out of this situation. Never mind, we do not have that anymore. But hey, we got Rare Candy and an Energy. Plus we still have the Mew to help us draw. Diplin. Goldeen. Do they have the Energy? They still have their... Yeah, okay. They still have their Boom Boom Grooves available to them as well. So let's see. They're probably going to grab a Grass Energy. With the other Boom Boom Groove, they will probably fill up their bench space. Another Diplin, okay. Boom Boom Groove again. They need that energy. There's 2 here. I would have to guess they're running hopefully at least 6. Or at least 4, obviously. But at most, you would be running like 8 if you really want that many. But like 6 is a good number to have, just in case like 1 or 2 of them get prized. Okay, here's the attack. It's going to be doing 90. So if they attack twice, it knocks it out, which I'm okay with. It's only a 1 prizer. They really needed to knock out one of these guys. They're not going for the knockout. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, unfortunate for them. They should have taken the knockout. Oh, no. I feel sorry. Do we want to power up anything else right now? You know, I'm not even going to put that up. I'm going to evolve this into a Gloom. This into a Vileplume. See if we get some energies that way. Let's do that. 3 energies. Wonderful. We're going to put here, here, here. We're going to Teal Dance. Have even amounts right now. And I'm going to leave that extra bench space empty because if we get gusted up again for the Vileplume, we can use Iron Leaves EX to get out of there. Alright. Take the knockout. Get the prize card. That's a Nest Ball. Do we have any Ultras still? Oops. We still have some Ultra Balls available to us, so we could use those. We also have the Research. Cynthia's Ambition. I will say it could have been closer if they had taken that prize card. Because they would have been at 3. But I guess they didn't want to have me put up an Ogerpon to attack with. That way they could knock that out. And then I would be forced to put in, I think it was an Oddish at the time, or the Gloom. And they would knock that out. But either way, I could have put in one of the Ogerpons and they wouldn't knock that out either. But it is game, unfortunate for them. They could try and stall again. How many gusting cards that they use? They might still have Counter Catcher and a boss. So we never know what they try to do. But we did end up winning this prize race. Sometimes it's pretty difficult against these single prize decks, but we made it work. And unfortunately for them, they are not hitting enough to knock us out. They would need the maximum belt for it. Ooh, wait a minute. No, I don't think so either. Even if they put up another vitality ban, they would be doing, if it was full 110, no, I guess if they had the vitality ban. But if they're only running the vitality ban, the maximum belt, and the defiance, they're probably not getting the knockout. Do they still have one of the Boom Boom Grooves available to them? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah. They do 200. They're short by 10. Good game. Unfortunately, that apple didn't make it. Okay, we won the coin flip once again with the heads. And once again, we're going to be going first. Lucky for us, the past deck wasn't a deck that could attack first. And hopefully this one isn't one either. Okay, this may be Raging Bolt. Just based off the energies I saw there. So going second for them might be beneficial. We'll see how this works out. We're gonna have to Buddy-Buddy Poffin here. Let's take our extra card. Okay, yeah. It's probably Raging Bolt, if I had to guess, based off the electric energy and the grass energy alone. But let's put these up. And pass. That's all we can do, unfortunately. Hopefully they don't set up too much. And we really need a Teal Mask Ogerpon out ourselves. They're using bug catching set. Interesting. Okay. You usually don't see that in a lot of Raging Bolts that I've seen. Very interesting way to get the energy and the Ogerpons that way, though. Bravery Charm onto Squawkabilly. Okay. There's a Sada getting tossed into the discard. Another Ogerpon. I'm curious to know why they attached that to the Squawkabilly and maybe not to one of the Ogerpons. Survivability, I suppose? Is my only guess. There's the Raging Bolt. But I don't think it'll get powered up in time. Could be wrong. They could power it up right now. They just need one fighting energy, and then they can retreat. Oh, yep, they got it. This is the problem with going first in this current meta, especially against like these decks that can attack going second easily. Yeah, okay. We're about to lose two of our Oddish probably if we don't get anything drawn well in the next turn. Let's see here. We'll get knocked out here. But do we get something else after? There's one energy. Taking a bit to choose their prize card. Interesting. I sometimes wonder, it does say it beforehand, but I guess not. Sometimes it'll say, okay, yep. Before we even drew it, you can check and see what you're drawing by clicking on that. But let's go ahead, set up this Teal Mask Ogerpon, Teal Dance, attach 1. That's a research. Attach here and pass. Let's see if they're able to gust it up and knock it out. That would require quite a bit. Hopefully they don't get it though. There's 1. So if they do discard everything they currently have, I think it's 240. Boss's orders. That's one of the things they needed. They need another energy, I believe, right? Wait, it's 4? Oh, no, it's enough. Oh, man. Okay. Well, let's put up the Oddish once more and see if we can draw into another Teal Mask Ogerpon. They have no energy, so they've committed a lot to just that one attack. And it's not. Oh. Research. Let's get some Teal Mask Ogerpons out. Because we have the Iron Leaves. We could attack with that. Potentially. We need to get really lucky here with this Teal Dance. That's an Oddish. No. Let's bench the Oddish for now then. Pass. On the bright side right now is they only have this single Raging Bolt set up. And they've discarded quite a few of their energies already. I'll pass. Okay. I don't like getting rid of it right now. But I kind of have to. Let's put this up. I need to draw some cards here. Oh, that is a lot of energy I would have preferred earlier. Teal Dance here. Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I don't think we can use that, but I'm going to burn it anyways. I'm going to try and get some other cards out of the deck. So we have a higher chance of getting maybe the Vileplume. That's a Teal Dance here. Let's see. Prime Catcher. That is something. But not really what we're looking for. Let's go for the attack with 120. I don't like it. But we're going to have to do it. Let's hope they don't have any other energies set up at all. Or any other way to set up right now. Earthen Vessel. They drew into the Earthen Vessel? That's insane. It's at least 2 energies. That's 2 extra draws. How many Sada do they have left? They probably have 2 more Sada somewhere. Hopefully they don't draw into the Sada, because the Sada would help them grab one of these 2 energies back. Prime Catcher. Okay. Oddish. Squawk. Wait a minute. This is okay. They're going to power up their Raging Bolt. They don't know we have our Prime Catcher. So we just Prime Catcher up and knock it out. Because we probably have more than enough energy now, right? I think we're going to be doing 180. Because one more is 150, one more after that is 180. Power it up. A Gloom. Attach for turn. That is 300 total once we attack. But let's grab another card here real quick. Another energy. Okay. Oh, wait, 240. My bad. But more than enough, regardless. And they don't have another attacker right now. I wonder how quickly they can set up another Raging Bolt. Hopefully they're only able to bench it and we can just boss it up. That would be ideal right now. And that's how we turn this game around. The next best thing is to gust up whatever Raging Bolt, or sorry, Ogerpon they power up, which is that one. And we can knock that out. Okay, let's grab it. We're doing 270. Do we want to increase that even more? Just in case they put up a Raging Bolt with a what is it called? Bravery Charm. Let's put this up. Let's actually power up this Ogerpon as well. Ooh, a Vileplume. Very tempting. Let me put back my energy first, though. I kind of want to put the Iron Leaves back, too. You know what? I'm going to put up 2 energy and the Iron Leaves to grab that maybe at some point later. Actually, I don't know if it's going to be helpful in this game. We'll hold on to it. We'll put it back. Let's evolve this one. Let's use Fully Blooming. Only 2. Okay, that's fine. We're going to attach them here. And 7 would make 21, 24. So if that Ogerpon has no energy, we can knock it out that way. So let's actually do it that way, yeah. 330 for now. But again, we're hoping that if they do put up the Raging Bolt, we can knock it out immediately. Okay. Squawkabilly. They may not have it. Now, this is actually insane that they're not getting the draw support they need right now. And they've actually used quite a bit of their grass energy too. A Sandy Shocks. We win. Hey, there's the Iron Leaves we just got rid of earlier. But it doesn't matter. Unfortunate for them, we had the other boss in hand, and that is game. I will say this Vileplume is helpful when it comes down to it. I really like that Vileplume. I don't know why. It's like, I think, probably better than the Iron Leaves EX itself in this EX battle deck. Okay, so we lost the coin flip. So I'll be going first, which is okay with us because we want to go second most of the time. I don't like starting Iron Crown though. What are we playing against? Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this Gardevoir deck that they're playing. But it's okay because a lot of the Pokemon are going to be weak and we can knock them out easily with Ampu very much. Arvin. Ooh, it's Bayonet. This is okay because we're going second, so we can get most of our stuff out of the way sooner than later. We do need a switch and them right on to attack with. Okay, they're attaching one there. Bayonet EX can be a problem. And I do enjoy playing Bayonet EX, but playing against it can be a struggle when your deck relies on a lot of item cards. In our case, it doesn't rely too much on them. Okay, research again. We're gonna get rid of one of those research. We're gonna get Miraidon and Iron Hands. And the plan right now is to attack with Miraidon. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna attach the Grass Energy. Play Arven. We're gonna grab an Electric Energy Generator. Future Booster Energy Capsule. Attach this to the Iron Crown. Retreat it. Play the Electric Generator, hopefully for at least one is fine, but I was hoping for two. And then we can Peak Acceleration, knock out the Shuffit, and then power up the Iron Hands even more. I'm actually going to grab another Grass Energy and put it on there as well. All right, good start, very good start for us right now. Another Research. Putting out the other Shuffit. If I had to guess, they're probably going to evolve it into the Bayonet EX. And then attack with its Everlasting Darkness. Iono, that's fine. I actually like the idea of getting Iono here. Electric Generator, not as much if they use the Everlasting Darkness now. Maybe they don't get it. If they don't get it, that's perfect, and maybe they power up the Shuffit instead. Let's see what they do. All right, Luminous Energy, pass. Okay, that's good for us. A very bad start for them, but we will take their bad start and run with it. Iron Crown, Iron Crown. I just realized we don't have any Iron Leaves. They're priced. Or it's priced, I mean. We're fine here. I'm going to actually attach this here. Electric Generator for one. Nice. I'll put this onto here. We're going to go ahead and grab another Electric Generator and a Heavy Baton. Actually, now that I think about it, I could just switch. Get two prizes this way, actually. Yeah, probably better. All right. Thank you very much. Knock it out. Get two prize cards. Nice and simple. There's the Iron Leaves now. Because of our Iron Crown EX is in play, our Arm Press is doing 220, which is enough to knock out the Mew EX. I'm guessing they're going to retreat this, but even if they do, we still get our two prize cards off of one of these other Pokemon. Unless they evolve this into a Bayonet EX. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen right now. Everlasting Darkness for 30, but we're going to be swinging for 220 each time. So I honestly think we win this just because we've set up way faster than they did. Super Rod. They can Mew for one now. Shuffits and the Gardevoir. Iono. That's fine with me. Ooh, very fine with me. We could just win next turn. Yeah. Oh, well, no. If they power the Bayonet EX and use Everlasting Darkness, we can't. Because then we can't use Prime Catcher. Well, I guess we could just use boss's orders. We don't need to use the prime catcher. Either way, I think we win this one. The Iron Hands are too strong. It's unfortunate because I really want to see Iron Leaves at least get played in this. And not just it be sitting there as like just a potential card that you could use. But at the same time, you gotta use the best cards in your deck to their fullest. And that is using Iron Hands to get as many prize cards as possible. There's the energy. Here comes the Everlasting Darkness. Or they might get another, because I think they put back, what, 2 Shuffet and the Gardevoir. They could grab one of the Gardevoir. Ooh, wait, hold on. Good option, good option. This makes it a lot more difficult. I was not expecting a counter catcher play here. So what do we do to get out of this? We have to power up by 2 more electric energies. What we could do, because I don't know if they have the switch cards available to them, we could boss up a Kirlia. And then they have to commit a Gardevoir to it. Let's see. Trekking Shoes. If they can't get another Everlasting Darkness off, we win. Let's see. Routes. So they need to get that Gardevoir. They do have 3 in the discard as well. Finding a way at Artisan. I'm hoping they didn't get the Gardevoir. If they got the Gardevoir, they can win this. If they didn't, we win this. They got the Gardevoir. Oh, man. Okay, so they're going to be able to retreat now. And they're going to be able to move some of that damage from the Gardevoir over to our Pokemon using Monkey Dory. I'm guessing they try and put it onto either Miraidon or this Iron Hands. I really won't want to get rid of this Prime Catcher either. They probably still have another Gardevoir somewhere too. So if I tried to boss up this Kirlia, they probably would just evolve into that one. Or use the other Gardevoir, really. Realistically, just use the other Gardevoir. Oh, man, our win next turn really relied on them not grabbing the Gardevoir EX. Another Monkey Dory. Do they power it up with the... another, what is it called? I forget what these are called. Luminous Energy, that's what it's called. Or do they already have the Darkness Energy instead? Turo scenario, okay. Getting rid of the Mew. Putting up a Shuffet. I really don't want to use Professor's Research to get rid of it. But I might have to. Putting the 30 on there. I believe it's only if it's knocked out and not based off of... yeah, and is in the active spot. So that's going to be more problematic. Let's do that. and pass. If we had used Professor's research, there's a higher chance that they could knock us out with Poltergeist, so I'm not going to do that. There's only 2 here, so it's only doing 120. They could mess us up and have us draw somehow into a better hand for them. But even if we have 3, they're still not knocking us out. Okay, so they're going to Curlia into whatever cards they put there. So now we just need to get the 3rd energy and then arm press. Luminous energy. How many more energy? They have 3 energies, so they could put an extra 60 onto something. That's an overcommitment of energy. They're going to move all that 60 onto Iron Hands. Oh, do they get the knockout there? No, okay, they're not moving it to that Iron Hands. If they had moved it over to this Iron Hands, they would have gotten knockout. No, the following turn, not this turn. But moving it over to here is probably a bad idea. They could have gambled it and tried to... Okay. Tried to knock us out in the active, I was going to say. I think we still win this. Another research. I'm going to have to get rid of the Prime Catcher. Hope we grab at least 1 electric energy. Nice. So we're doing 220. Technically, now we're doing 240. And we also have free retreat. So we win. Sort of. We're close to winning. With this, we knock out the Bayonet EX. We're down to 1 prize card. A boss's orders. And now we win. Because they can knock out this Bayonet. I mean this Iron Hands. If they use Poltergeist. But then we have the boss's orders next turn. If they have an Iono, they could Iono us. They have 3 used, so they could have a 4th. Boss's orders, okay. And Iron Crowns probably. Do we have Arven still? I don't think so. No, we should still have 2 Arven left. I think it was a different list I'm remembering that had 2. We would have to wait a turn though. Because we need that Future Boost energy capsule for it to have free retreat. And we have 2 currently on Pokemon. But if we get that, we retreat and then boss up one of their other Pokemon. The other thing they could do mistakenly is knock out and have me have a free bench space, essentially. And if we get the Iron Leaves, then we switch that in, boss up one of their other Pokemon, and then just knock it out. Alright, the Agenda Brain, let's see what they put it on. Probably this Iron Hands. Yep, that Iron Hands. But it still will be a while until they knock it out. At least 2 turns. Okay, they're like evenly splitting it. Which honestly I feel like is a bad idea. They should just focus on one. There's a 30. What do we get? That's a Nest Ball, unfortunate. I'm going to commit this here. And I kind of just want to Iono down to 1 because I don't need any of this stuff. And plus, they could Poltergeist me. Knock it out. Techno Radar. Okay. We're down to 1 card in hand, which is good for Poltergeist attacks. Also, this might be one of the longer matchups that we play in this video because I've just noticed the time discrepancy. There's a huge gap in the time discrepancy over there in the corner. Or in the middle, I should say. Always the problem with any deck that runs like Guard War and stuff like that. What are they grabbing? If we get the energy, we retreat and attack with Miraidon. Arven gets us the Future Booster Energy Capsule and, well, we can't really use an item card though, but I'll grab the Electric Generator. Okay. We got to go for the Arm Press here. Or I go for this Arm Press if they knock me out here, because they know I grabbed the Electric Generator. If they go for Poltergeist, we can move 3 energy away. We'll see here. Okay. They still might have some gusting available to them. So are they going for the Miracle Force? I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm pretty okay with that. All right, let's put this here, here, here. So we have the free retreat if necessary. Let's put up the Iron Hands. We need a supporter right now. That is not a supporter. And I don't think we get something else. Ooh. Oh, how the turns have tabled. You know what? We can play with Iron Leaves here. 1 second. Iron Leaves is the star of this deck, so we are gonna have to use Iron Leaves here real quick. Whatever they give us, Iron Leaves will be able to knock out for game. We need 2 grass. There are 2 grass here. Let's put them in the active. Move that. Oh, hello. Move that. Move that. Move that. And we take game right there with Iron Leaves EX, the star of this EX battle deck. We didn't need to. We didn't have to commit to that, but we got to show off Iron Leaves there. Late game play. And so that was Iron Leaves EX's 2 different upgrades. I still really like this Vileplume. Its fully blooming energy ability just hits so well into Teal Mask Ogerpon's Myriad Leaf Shower, like I said earlier. It synergizes really great. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a lot of Iron Leaves in the gameplays, but we did get to see it shine in that future upgrade that we did at the very end. Unnecessary to use it, really, but we had to show off Iron Leaves and what it could do. Either way, I think Iron Leaves EX, regardless if you're going to use it as it is, or if you're going to be using it either in the grass type version or in the future version, it is definitely worth getting. Even as it is, with the Vileplume in that deck, it's really good. I really like this, and I'm surprised that I never really noticed it the first time when it came out in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 151. I may have to go back and take a look at this for something like as like a single prize power up card for Hydrapple EX, or even just the Teal Mask Ogerpon itself instead with this one. Either way, really good deck. I really like it. I will note, like I said in, I believe when we were playing it as this grass version, if you want to go second and attack with your Teal Mask Ogerpons, because you can power this up with 2 energies on your first turn using its Teal Dance and then the attach for turn, you should try putting in an energy switch. That way, if you have 2 Teal Mask Ogerpons, you Teal Dance to one, you Teal Dance to the other, and then you energy switch from your benched one to your active one. That way you'll have 3 energies on it, and then you can attack for 120. Just an idea. What would you drop for it though? Oh, that is a very good question, to be honest. And if you wanted to, you could drop this down to a 3-1-3 line for Vileplume and put in 2 energy switches. That's just a suggestion. We did end up having too many Oddish every once in a while. Even in my practice games, I would have too many Oddish and no way of really getting rid of them. So that might be an option, getting rid of an Oddish that way. Maybe also Buddy-Buddy Poffin if you wanted to. Just some suggestions if you want to put that energy switch in. Other than that, this deck still seems pretty solid. I'm looking forward to seeing what cards we can add into it once Surging Sparks comes out completely. We did see a couple cards in some of our videos there that had Surging Sparks, but I haven't had the chance to really look it over and see if there's anything we can upgrade this Iron Leaves EX battle deck with. But right now, I think Ogerpon and the future variation are really good options for you to try out. But of course, let me know what you think about them down in the comments below. And while you're down there, why not get subscribed? We have so many more Pokemon TCG deck upgrade videos coming out. Also, we're going to be doing a video on Surging Sparks and doing a booster box game on that to see if we can get the value of the booster back from the cards we pull in the future, and also checking out the trainer toolkit for 2024 and seeing if it's worth getting for you guys. Other than that, we have a lot of streams every week. We have at least 2 a week on Thursdays and Saturdays, and then sometimes on Tuesdays. So check that out if you like Pokemon content. Anyways, guys, as always, stay safe, and thanks for watching.